Lent is a time for self-reflection. For me, that reflection has led to awareness of issues in my life that need changing. I've been aware all morning how tired I am. That's not one that needs changing, but at least it needs recognition. Because I lost an hour of sleep last night. Oh, now I see some nods. Yeah, I'm not alone. It's really affecting me. Probably you too. A time to see, as I said last week on Sunday, if my heart, my head, and my gut are lining up together when I'm thinking about things or when something is bothering me. It can often be difficult to make them line up, even if you know what's askew. Well, I'm going to share a brief story about the first time I learned this lesson, and it was a hard lesson to learn. I was at our farmhouse up in Matney. This was 49 years ago. 49 years ago. And I was washing dishes and looking out the window, and I was pondering. I was just thinking. And so all of a sudden I was startled. My daughter ran in. She was about 5 years old. And she said, "Mom!" And it startled me. It scared me. I was way too deep in reflection. And so I jumped and I turned and I looked at her and I said, "What?" Any of you parents ever done a similar? It's just painful if you're a parent, yeah. Well, the look on her face, she just looked at me and didn't know in that moment what to do because she had brought in a handful of flowers from the fields. And she was there to present them to me, and she didn't know if she should present them or not. So I said, "Oh, Sarah, I'm so sorry. Mom snapped at you. I apologize. Can you forgive me?" And she handed me the flowers. And she smiled because she knew her mom. That's one of the reasons. Thanks be to God. And so we walked together. I said, "Come on, let's go find a vase, put the flowers in the vase." And we did. It took a month or two. But as I reflected on this, what I realized was that I was thinking deeply about the fact that I was a smoker. That's what was going on in my head. And how was I going to quit smoking? And it was always in the back of my mind. It obscured my thoughts, and it was ruminating. I was ruminating. It was always there, but it never come forward like that it had in that moment. And when it came forward, then I had to really put it front and center and think about it and say, yes, I'm going to quit smoking. And it took about a year. But I did. I quit smoking. And that is one of the greatest victories that I've ever had because it was hard. If you've never smoked, you just don't know what a comfort it is. It was comforting to have something to do with your hands, to feel that smoke going in. Ugh, it sounds awful now, but it was comforting. And it was hard to give it up. But I did, and I stopped. It was a real victory. Now, I'm telling you all this because during Lent this year, I will be working on another addiction. Laughter. You must be identifying with me. I'm addicted to my cell phone. I cannot tell you how many times I cut that thing on in order to look at a message, call somebody, and all of a sudden, I've spent over an hour with the reels on Facebook, going through the reels, looking for Would I Lie to You? You know, that British show, which is just hilarious. I'm not going to recommend it if you've never seen it. You might get addicted to it. But it's become a problem for me. And what I know is that I spend way too much time, I'm too sedentary. As I look at my cell phone, I can look up and realize I spent an hour or 2 hours. That's hard for me to imagine now. I never would have done that when I was younger. But I'm no longer younger. And it's much easier for me to sit and do that. I can quickly go down a rabbit hole. How about you? What is your rabbit hole? What is it that you are addicted to? Because I think we all have our addictions in one form or another. Things that just get in the way of our relationships with others. One of the questions that you could ask during Lent is, what am I avoiding? What's back there that needs to come forward, be looked at, worked on, or at least, if you don't want to work on it, at least recognize it. I did not work on my smoking when I became aware of it in a new way, but I made the decision and the commitment to stop smoking in the future, realizing it would take me a while to learn some strategies to do that. And that's okay. That is all right. It takes as long as it takes. So, I offer you that today, and I offer you the fact that Jesus went out into the wilderness, and he was confronted by the devil and saying, I'll give you this, I'll give you this, I'll give you this, if you will just turn and worship me. Man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes out of the mouth of God. So we see Jesus being tempted or tested, and he comes through. He comes through. Let that be our model. As you look at things in your life that you want not to avoid anymore, but to bring forward and to wrestle with and to think about. That happens. You are tested. We are all tested. And what's going on in the world today is also a test for many of us. And thank goodness that Anna has cleared out a space and has invited us to come talk about what's going on in the world. That's a forum. That is a forum for that. Because privately, people have been coming up and saying, what I'm not hearing anything about what we are going to do about this, that, or the other. There are too many this, that's, or the others to deal with them all in here in church on a Sunday morning. But we're making space for that conversation. So Anna, tell me one more time the time, 2 o'clock? 2 o'clock today. If you want to stay and engage in some serious conversation. I don't know what else to say except that I know when I'm with you all in worshiping, I know that Jesus is here. I feel it. I feel the presence. I feel it when I see all those on Zoom who stop where they are when they could just as easily take a cup of coffee and read the paper. But here they are. Here you are. And how grateful I am for all of you. And I know you're grateful for each other because I hear it. I hear it all the time and I see it. So, I don't have anything else to say. What I'm realizing is my tiredness has taken a hold of me. I'm having trouble ending this sermon. So what I'm going to say is, all God's people say, amen.